Humans, what have you learned?
Well, fuck, that was incredible. And I'll say, going that fast, there is nothing, no feeling in the world that compares to that. That's around 256 I think I got up to. I'll check later, but I think I got up to about 256, and I know that the speedo is probably a little bit wrong, you know, but that's around 100, what's that, 159 I think, 158 maybe miles an hour. Never been that fast in my life. Obviously never done that in a car, because obviously I don't have the kind of money to be in a car that can go that fast, but I have the kind of money to be able to go that fast on this motherfucker. So yeah, that's fucking insane. That feeling is amazing, that rush, the adrenaline, the way that the world goes past you. And as I was saying, it's like it feels like the world changes frame rate when you go that fast. You know, doing sort of 100, it all feels kind of smooth, but getting up to that 250 kph, it kind of slows down the frame rate and makes it like really choppy. It's a really weird sensation, but it's awesome. Yeah, really weird. There's this thing as well, so I know that, you know, I've not been riding long, and I've kind of, you know, kept the rev range sort of about the 7 to 8k before I shift, just because I know that past that 8k, that power delivery is so insane. But today sort of I tried to push it, and yeah, when it gets to sort of like the 10k mark, you are a passenger on this thing, and you're just sort of squeeze your knees, hold on tight, and see what the fuck happens. It's kind of crazy. I'm not going to be getting into anything else, any more trouble. At least he saw it too, the guy in the van. Gave it a little head high roll there. So I think now is a time where I feel like making a judgment on starting on a 1000cc bike as your first bike becomes a little bit more valid. I originally was going to make the video early on, but I kind of thought, what position do I have when I don't have any experience, you know? I literally can't see shit because of the bugs. And I think now, yeah, now that I've got, you know, a good couple of hours, I say couple, like I've got loads of hours in the seat now, I feel like I'm a bit more in a solid place to yeah, I feel like now that I've got hours in the seat, I feel like I've got a bit more of a standard to say something about it. And I won't make this as the definitive can you start a 1000cc bike video. I'll save that for a big video later on down the road. But as for right now, current thoughts are, yeah, I think you can. I think spending time understanding the bike is crucial. I think spending time on the bike, lower RPMs, you know, getting used to changing gears, the weight, the feel, learning how to lean, and all of those things that you don't really learn in riding school. I think once you've started to get the hang of those sorts of things, and then you start to really sort of begin to play with going faster. And you know, I know every time I go out, I'm getting faster and faster around the corners, and more confident around the corners too. And that comes from riding more and more and more. And now that I'm sort of like, you can progress on this thing just like you would if you were to do the traditional route of starting on a 400, 600, and then moving up to the 1000 in the future. I think you can kind of do that on this bike anyway. You know, you just ride a little bit. You just ride a little bit lower in the rev range. You know, you take your corners nice and slow. I mean, when I got this bike day one, and for that first like few weeks, like my turns were like at 1 mile an hour. I would not take this bike fast at all. But now I'm getting more and more confident. You know, practicing the counter steering, practicing leaning, getting a good feel for the bike. And I feel like now I'm starting to understand this bike a little bit more, and I feel more confident on it. I don't know if that can be attributed to an age thing, whether, you know, people can well, what I'll say is, for example, that guy that was on the Honda CBR that fucking flew past me, he was without a doubt a better rider than I was. He was way faster than I was, and I just didn't have the bottle to do it. But being behind him, I knew that I pushed my limits there, and I went faster than I'd ever gone, and that's what brought the confidence on to do it. But that's the dangerous thing, and I think that's the thing about riding solo. That's the biggest benefit to a new rider. If you're riding solo, you're not going to be drawn into these, like, to trying to keep up with the big boys that have been doing it a long time. And I feel like being behind him, I felt that. I felt seriously like I was nowhere in his league, and I was trying to push a bit harder than I normally would. Yeah, so it's something to think about. Is there's just like, maybe if you are going to start on a bigger bike, you need to spend so much time on your own building those skills, building that confidence, and getting a, you know, becoming a better rider to try and counteract that mentality of like going balls to the wall. Like, I kind of knew where my limit was because I've found it a few times. You know, I found corners that I've nearly gone wide on and shut the throttle off and had a little bit of a shit your bed moment. The other thing that I've really figured out is time and place. So the time and place to go nuts and to be silly, I was on a road like I was just on. That was a big A road. It was fucking empty, you know, really fucking empty. Yeah, it was a really empty road, so I could go a bit faster because, yeah, these people, they do not see you, and that's what's crazy. They do not see you, and I've had a few instances now where people have really pulled out on me, and I've really had to do some serious progressive braking. My man, all right? That's what these people, Elliot. I love that pretty ass lush. So knowing your time and a place, and I don't know if this is an age thing where, you know, I am 30 now, so I have got a bit more experience and maturity in life in general. Over on the closer. As well, this bike just doesn't want to go around town. It hates just going around town.
Humans, what have you learned?